What if getting rich wasn't about luck or talent or being in the right place at the right time? What if it was an exact science? Well, that's the wild claim from a book written way back in 1910 by a guy named Wallace D. Wattles, and today we're going to break down his formula.
It's a pretty bold question, isn't it? But the book's answer is a hard yes. It basically argues that the whole process of getting wealthy follows these really specific, unchanging laws. And if you obey those laws, it claims, you'll get rich with, and this is a direct quote, mathematical certainty.
And there it is, the line that kicks the whole thing off. It's not a suggestion or a nice idea. He presents it as a fundamental law of the universe, something as reliable as 2 plus 2 equals 4. So, what on earth is this science?
So the first thing Wattles does is he starts tearing down all the common ideas we have about wealth. He argues that getting rich has nothing to do with your environment or having some special talent or even being super thrifty. I mean, we all know plenty of talented, frugal people who are still poor, right? And we know others with less obvious skills who get rich. So if it's not talent or your surroundings, then what is it? Well, the book's central idea, the whole thing it hangs on, is this. The difference is a method it calls the certain way, and it claims that absolutely anyone, no matter their talent, their business, or where they live, who learns to do things in this certain way will, without fail, get rich. Okay, so before we can really dig into the how-to, we've got to get our heads around the philosophy this is all built on. See, this certain way is based on a really specific idea about how the universe itself works, and it all starts with one single source. Let's take a look. At the very heart of this theory is this concept of an original substance, or thinking stuff. Just imagine this formless, intelligent goo that fills up everything, and it's the raw material for the entire universe. But here's the kicker. The book claims that this stuff creates things based on our thoughts. And that leads to these 3 core beliefs, which the book says you just have to accept on faith to get started. First, this thinking stuff is real. Second, a thought you hold in your mind impresses itself on this stuff and creates the physical thing. And third, that means we humans can literally think things into existence. So if thought creates reality, then the very first step in the process has to be mastering your own mind, right? This is what Wattles calls thinking in a certain way. It's the engine that drives this entire process. And this mental work has 4 very clear parts. First, you've got to create a super clear, detailed picture in your mind of exactly what you want. Second, you need to have this unshakable faith that what you want is already on its way to you. Third, you have to hold on to that vision with a single-minded purpose. And last, you have to feel deep gratitude for it, as if you have it right now. This quote just perfectly nails the level of faith we're talking about here. It's not just hoping or wishing. It's about feeling truly thankful for something you can't even see yet. And according to Wattles, that feeling is what stamps your vision onto that original substance. But look, thinking, no matter how focused it is only half the battle. That creative thought has to be connected to actual, real-world action. And that brings us to the second major part of the formula, acting in a certain way. The rules for taking action are really, really specific. You have to act now, not tomorrow, not next week. You have to work with what you have in your current environment. Don't wait for things to be perfect. You have to do everything you possibly can each day, no procrastinating. And every single thing you do, no matter how small, has to be done well, successfully. And this sums up the whole relationship perfectly. Your thoughts get the universe moving, bringing what you want towards you. But it's your actions that put you in the right place at the right time to actually open the door and receive it. Now, holding all of this together is a huge shift in mindset. Wattles is really clear on this. You absolutely have to stop thinking like a competitor and start thinking like a creator. So what's the difference? Well, the competitive mind sees the world as a small, limited pie. For you to get a bigger slice, someone else has to get a smaller one. It's a mindset of scarcity. But the creative mind believes that original substance is totally limitless. You're not fighting over what's already there. You're focused on creating new wealth, believing there's more than enough for everybody. And the takeaway here is pretty huge. Your wealth is supposed to come straight from that formless stuff, not out of someone else's bank account. According to this theory, when you get rich in the certain way, you're actually making the whole world richer, because you're adding new value that wasn't there before. All right, so we've looked at the philosophy, the mental side, the physical action, and that crucial creator mindset. Now, let's put all those pieces together into the book's final, complete formula for getting rich. And here it is, the whole thing in a single sentence. Form a clear mental picture, hold it with faith and purpose, and act now in a certain way upon your present environment with deep gratitude. That right there is the science of getting rich, as it was laid out all the way back in 1910.
So it's a formula that really demands you change how you see everything, from competition to creation, from scarcity to abundance. And it kind of leaves us with this one last big question to chew on. What if that very first principle is actually true? What if there really is a thinking substance that creates from our thoughts?